I'd like y'all to take one of your main ideas for your campaign, or one of your main positions, and in the most detailed way possible, tell us from day one as a state senator what steps you were going to take that idea and actually implement it and execute it and make it state policy. And I believe we're starting with Mr. Elmer.
You know, for me, I'm in the wholesale furniture business. Our business has been hit brutally hard because of construction. When homes aren't selling, sofas aren't selling. So I deal directly with the retailer, Matthews, and I've lost a lot of my businesses in the last 3 years. Castleberry's is no longer in Atlanta. Beverly Hall Furniture Company is no longer in Atlanta. The list goes on. Go all the way back to Rhodes Furniture. So, you know, being a business guy and being in the furniture business, this hits home to me. How do I get business here? The first thing I would do is truly cut the ad valorem sales tax and make it up with other alternatives like consumption. But what I mean by, you know, we've got people that have to pay, we've got retailers that are paying tax twice. They're paying, if they don't sell their product before December 31st, they pay a tax on it, and then they pay a tax again when they sell it. We're uncompetitive to our surrounding states, and for me, it's about being competitive, getting business here. We've got to do something about our debt situation, not only federally, but you know, our state, I was looking at, we're $900 million more budget in 2013. That's a lot of money, and we're running a pretty good tight ship right now. We've been very good, but I think we've got to keep our eye on the ball because the future could be heavily in a lot of spending. So, you know, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to look and study. You know, if y'all give me the opportunity to be elected and be your state senator, I'm going to do what's pro-business and pro-people, because that's what I understand as people.
Mr. Hill, specific implementation of one of your ideas?
Yeah. I think one of the main ones that I've really been advocating for since the beginning of this campaign is eliminating the income tax. But also recognize the challenges we face. I also recognize that part of the reason that we still face the same challenges we faced for the last 10 years is, even though a lot of us are Republicans, there's a status quo element that's in that under that gold dome. And I am not some. One of the first things you learn in leadership is first how to follow. Okay, and so being a new state senator, I want to go in there with an aspect of humility and willingness to learn, but also advocate hard for the ideas that I believe in, that I believe Georgia needs to move forward. And so, you know, I think that you win people over by listening to their ideas, but also promoting your own. And so I think to push through my belief that we need to eliminate the income tax is by listening and winning people over through my communication of why I think it's best for Georgia. And you know, I've got some great advocates that are friends within the state senate that I know I could you know, bend their ear. But I recognize you're trying to build consensus. You're trying to communicate a vision and an idea amongst a group who's been in there. So I want to push for the elimination of the income tax based on what the Tax Foundation said Georgia should do. We're 25th as it relates to our tax and regulatory environment in Georgia. And I also want to advocate how even if this think tank or that think tank didn't say we had to eliminate it, that it's just best for individuals and their businesses who are our job creators. And that's how we move forward as a state. So, you know, winning consensus and talking to people and learning and listening, that's how I would push it through. I would co-sponsor any bill. If I didn't win the day in my first try on eliminating the income tax, you better believe I'm going to sign on to legislation that at least reduces the income tax.
You know, I care a lot about the angel investor tax credit, but the Constitution says that it has to start in the House. So you ask, where would I focus my attention first? One, I would introduce a bill to reform the regulatory environment by making all regulations sunset. That would go to regulated industries or judiciary. I've testified before the Judiciary Committee. I know the folks there. I know the chairman of each of them, and work to get that through. And then the second thing I would do, because that's a full statewide thing, is meet immediately with the local delegation, including State Representative Edward Lindsay, who I see is back there somewhere, and start talking about how do we reform Fulton County, because that's something we've got to do early. It's something we've got to be transparent about, and it's something we've got to push going forward. It's going to take study, because I'll tell you, there is a constitutional provision that limits what the state can do for the county. It's called the Home Rule provision. And we know more than anything else sitting here, if we, whatever happens, Fulton County will end up suing and saying that the regulation crosses that line. So we've got to be careful. We need to send somebody that understands how the law operates, how the Constitution operates, and do it the right way and do it the first time. And that's where I'd spend time. And to me, it doesn't matter if the reform bill starts out as a House bill or as a Senate bill, as long as it gets done.